you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, awesome. Hey, Angela, how are you? Are you muted, Angela?
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can. Awesome. Okay. And I am trying to post one more link here, if I can find it. And then we'll get started, and we'll give a couple more people a chance to join in.
I'm going to be right back. I'm just grabbing my phone charger real quick.
Yep, I've got mine too. And Maddie, I think we're going to be talking quite a bit today. So how are you? It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. So thank you for joining us today. This is our first time doing it as a video. So I definitely want your feedback when we're done on what you think. And if you have any tips on how it could be easier or better, let me know that too. Would be great.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. And I think I saw this morning or sometime over the last couple of hours, you don't have your kit. It's supposed to be here on Thursday. Is that right?
Yeah, when I checked the tracking, when I clicked on the tracking number, it said it was going to be here tomorrow.
Okay, excellent. So we're going to be using a little booklet out of that, out of your kit, but since you don't have it yet, we can follow along in PC University. So that's something we'll be using both now and then on the call at 1 o'clock as well. So have you checked out PC University yet?
Yeah, I have.
Excellent. Okay, well, you are ahead of the curve. Let's see if I can get this to record. I think it is recording, so that's something we've had trouble with in the past. Okay, and let's see here. Okay, so this is the My Recipe for Success booklet, okay? And then we'll follow along in the steps in PC University. So first of all, so we're gonna kind of do this a little bit backwards because the call later, the three-way call with your mom is actually the getting to know you call. So it's gonna feel awkward doing that second, but that's okay. We'll just jump in and do it that way. Hey, Crystal, thanks for joining in.
Here.
Can you hear okay? Okay. So what we're going to do is the very first call is about bookings. And so how do you book your first cooking shows? So what should you expect with your bookings? As a new consultant, booking parties is the key to having a long and sustainable business. Begin by organizing your calendar and identifying the dates you have open for parties. So, Maddie, do you have a calendar? And do you use a digital calendar or a pen and paper calendar? What are you doing?
So far I'm using both.
Okay, excellent. And have you worked on what dates you can do shows?
I already have, I know I'm in the middle of one right now.
Okay.
I have 2 for next month already.
Okay, awesome. Way to go. And so are you doing mostly virtual? Are you doing cooking parties? Or are you doing a mixture of the two?
So far virtual because most of the people are in Ohio.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay. And Angela, what is your top tip for keeping your calendar organized?
Say that again.
What's your top tip for keeping your calendar organized? Like what's something you've learned along the way?
Putting dates on it.
Okay.
Definitely, I like to highlight anything that's related to my business in green, so I can look at a month glance, and then weekly, you can add that onto your weekly calendar also, but so I can see how much I could potentially earn for the month at a quick glance.
Okay, awesome tip. Okay, so your goal as a brand new consultant should be booking at least 4 parties in your first 4 weeks in business, and think of your different social circles. And don't forget to do one yourself, which Maddie, I think you just did your own show. Did you take the kit credit or what did you end up doing? You did take the kit credit? Okay, awesome. And did you get any bookings from that party?
2. The 2 that I
Excellent. Okay, excellent. So what we want to do, and I'm going to hold this up so you can take a look at it, is in your, both on PC University and in this My Recipe for Success is your launch list. Can you see this okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do you have a pen and paper handy?
I can.
Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us.
your total liability for that day's service was $140. You already paid them $40, you should only owe them $100. So, they see something.
Hey, Chris.
Hey,
I can hear you now. Thanks for joining in. So what we're working on is, this is something you and I already worked on together, but if you can jump in with some tips as well, is the launch list. As a new consultant, your launch list. We're working out of the My Recipe for Success, which I know you're still working your way through that too. So if you can give us some tips, we're going to walk through the different categories and then maybe some tips on your experience of booking your first couple shows too. Okay. So with your pen and paper, I'll just go through the different categories, and I want everyone to make sure they have at least 2 names under each category, and then you can go back and fill it out. The goal is to have 4 names per category. And then, yes.
Can we have, since we're recording this call, until you ask a question, can we have it on mute so that people can hear better later?
Yes, if I can figure out how to do
Just because there's some background noise.
that. Okay. Can you guys still hear me? Yes? Okay, awesome. We'll see if we can do it this way. If we're going to do it this way, we will have to use the chat because I need to have feedback on how many people you get per category. So you're going to have to do a lot of nodding. Otherwise, I'll just unmute you guys. Okay, so the very first category is your friends, and I don't want you to overthink it. We just want to put 1 to 2 names down. Don't think if they'd be interested in Paper Tough or not. We're just going for names right now. And Chris, I know we worked on this, but maybe you can go back through and look at the names, but also if you think of somebody else, we can always add to this list. So Maddie, I'm going to let you kind of work. Let me know when you get 2 to 3 names under your friends. We good? Okay. And then the second one is your neighbors. And I know, depending on your circumstances, that can be easy or difficult. Maddie, I know you just moved. And I'm going to see if I can unmute just you so you can talk to me a little bit. No, you're a military family, correct? Okay, so do you have connections through, are you living on base or living through the housing?
I really hate it here because he's active duty.
Okay.
We're on a reserve base.
Okay.
So there isn't much in the way of spouse support here versus we were on an active duty. I know so far the only thing I have going for me is somebody started a spouses page on Facebook.
Okay.
For this area, and every Friday we can post business posts.
Nice.
So I would post it there, but in the ways of neighbors and stuff,
Okay. What about past neighbors? Do you have neighbors up here or neighbors from other places that you've lived that would work for this?
Maybe.
Okay. And like I said, don't overthink it. If you get a no, it's okay. We're going for names right now. So if you can jot down even 1 to 2 names under that category, and then we'll keep moving. And we'll just see what happens with those. Okay.
Okay. I know I have 2 so far in the friends and 1 in the neighbors.
Okay, excellent. And then let's go to relatives. And let me know, but again, I know you're under your mom, so you guys will have to kind of work out how you're dividing up the relatives that are crossover, okay? But also think of your in-law side of the family, like his side of the family as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have 2.
Okay, perfect. And Chris, how are you doing? I know we did this together, so are you thinking?
good. I have a lot more to add to the relative category, especially when you mention in-laws, because my husband has cousins that I'm not even that familiar with, but we're friends on Facebook, so I could always reach out to them.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm glad going through it a second time is helpful too. So that's good feedback for me. So awesome. Okay, and then coworkers. The next category is coworkers. And Maddie, what's your kind of your past? Have you Is this the only thing you're doing right now? Do you have other stuff that you're doing?
This is the only thing I'm doing. I kind of I have an odd situation. I got married right out of high school.
Okay.
Because he was in the,
Congratulations. I was only 19 when we got married, so
Yeah.
I can relate.
and I had actually tried to join the Air Force also. I went to basic, but ended up breaking my ankles.
Oh, wow.
So I had to leave. And so because I never really had a job in high school because I was a straight A student. I worked on my grades. So I've never had any job experience, and I think that's why down here I'm having such a hard time finding a job. A, because I have no experience, and because you have to know Spanish, and I don't.
Okay. What about people you know through your time in the military, or the time kind of with your husband? Is this the first time you've moved, or where have you been in the past?
This is the first time he moved. He's only been in 2 years.
Okay.
So this is our first base.
Okay. Your first base. Okay. So, what about his coworkers from right now, or even in the past, if there was maybe a community that you were more involved in before you moved down there?
I know he is kind of going around work and telling his
Okay.
so hopefully like their wives.
Sure. Awesome. Okay. So do you think we can get any names in there? Is there anyone that's given positive feedback on that?
I can put down his supervisor.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. And then the next one, some people do very well with, and some people really struggle with it. It's your holiday greeting card list, and then underneath it says, think about your wedding invitation list. So how easy or hard is that one for you?
That would be easy.
Okay, awesome. So let me know when you've got a couple names down.
Excuse me.
Any tips or ideas that anyone else wants to throw out there while we're working through these?
This is the list that you suggested. Maybe somebody needs a fundraiser, like a teacher. So I did put down the archery coach.
Okay.
Because I'm sure that they could use some sort of fundraising, especially towards the end of the school year.
Perfect.
When they go to tournaments and stuff.
Okay. And I know I kind of fundraisers, and I've got a couple other categories that I kind of keep that aren't on here if there's one that we just don't have any contacts for, but fundraisers is a good go-to. And schools and teachers are good, but another one is different churches. And even if you're not actively involved in a church, that doesn't mean you don't have friends who are actively involved in their churches. And those are some of the top fundraisers. Angela, you've done quite a few fundraisers over the years. What are some other ones that you've done?
I actually helped a soccer team earn the funds for an extra tournament that they wanted to go to. And spring soccer's coming up, so people would probably know right now if for kids, if they need more funds for that. Also, for my son's baseball team, catalog fundraisers are super easy for kids. The other one that I raised a lot of money for was the Homeward Bound Greyhound Rescue. They like to help people adopt greyhounds. I raised money for Turner Syndrome and for the West Side Relay for Life group. Some are events and some are actually just catalog parties. But whatever you believe in. And I think if it's something that you like to give back and you feel passionate about the specific fundraiser, you'll probably even do better than if you know nothing about it. But I'm doing one next month for DIPG awareness, and I don't know anything about it. So I've asked the person in charge of the fundraiser we're going to do it on Facebook, and they're going to educate all of us. A lot of people who feel passionate about a cause or a medical situation, they know more about it than you do, and you can learn along the way about a condition you might not know anything about. So she's going to post each day some sort of DIPG awareness. So
Awesome. Okay, great tip there. And then Maddie, were you able to get some names down?
I was able to get a couple of the groups down here.
Excellent. Okay. And then the next category is your digital contacts. So this will be social media friends and email contacts. How are you doing?
Good.
Got a couple? Okay. And then the next one's going to be community connections. And this would actually be people that you're meeting from moving. So this could be doctors, hairstylists, church members. What are some other categories of people that you guys use? The people at your bank. I know with the military, you don't necessarily use realtors, but that's another category, or you could connect with local realtor offices. One of our girls on our team is both a hairstylist, and then she just made a major cross-country move, and her mom's a realtor. So they're working on setting up some things for her to get exposure to the other realtors in the area, and then also work with some of them to come up with a gift set, because most realtors give some type of housewarming gift when they make a sale of a house. So that working with the Pampered Chef consultant to purchase, several sets of something. So that's something you could go into your local realtor office, not knowing a lot of people in your area, and introduce yourself and ask if they'd be willing to let you set up or come in and do like a lunch type thing or something. I've done that at realtors offices in the past. Anyone have any other tips they want to add?
dentist office.
Dentist, awesome. Okay. Doctor office. Okay. And then let's see here. Friends' parents, and that varies based on who's doing this. So, and again, this one, Maddie, might be a little trickier for you with your mom doing this too. So when you have kids, sometimes it's going to be those kids' moms or parents. When we're working with somebody that doesn't have kids yet, or their kids are already adults, then a lot of times we're talking about their parents' friends, but your mom's a consultant. So I think what you would maybe think of is, do you have a good relationship with your in-laws? I know some people do, some people don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you think of people in your in-laws category, like their friends, or could your mother-in-law or father-in-law help you out with maybe making connections with people?
Yeah, I'm sure my mother-in-law would be able. She babysits for a lot of people.
Awesome.
So he may be able to get at least one of them.
Okay, awesome. And is your mother-in-law up here in Cincinnati, or where is she from? I'm sorry, it cut out.
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Okay, so around here. And is she one of your leads for a party? Is she going to be doing one of your Facebook parties, or?
I can ask her. So far, I have her sister and her mom.
Okay, so you've got some people through there, but maybe ask her, and maybe she could even pass out some catalogs to the babysitting parents as well. So, okay, awesome. And then the next one is your favorite foodies. So this is people that may be posting a lot of recipes on Facebook or talking about how they cook on Facebook. This might be the person who is constantly posting about getting healthy, or maybe has started a whole new like diet type system in 2017. I know I have done getting healthy shows with people who and kind of partnered with people who are starting Advocare is one of the popular ones around here program. Another one's Isogenics, which isn't as popular here in Cincinnati, but it's gaining popularity. And then there's one I'm forgetting about. It Works is the other one. So a lot of times those people are already, with growing their businesses, talking about getting healthy, you know, a lifestyle change type thing. And so I've offered to come in and do a getting healthy party, or there actually are some new outlines for Facebook parties that are getting healthy Facebook parties. And then they use that to get free rewards and get the products to make their, you know, healthy lifestyle a lot easier, the prep work a lot easier. So that is another category. Were you able to come up with some names there?
Yeah, I actually on my Facebook sells It Works.
Okay.
So, like thing.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. And then the last one is your phone favorites. And so this would be people that you call and text the most, which I know some people, again, find this really easy, and some people find that this one, they've already put all the names down. So let me know if this is an easy one or a hard one.
That was the hardest one for me. 'Cause it seemed like everyone else falls under another category. So, but I did come up with one or two.
Angela, any other ideas of people you might throw out there?
I know. So if it sort of could or couldn't fall into another category, but if you have a group that you're in, like a phone list that you would send out to people for, I don't know, like your neighborhood sometimes. Like we have our own Facebook page for our neighborhood. That would be like a good option, which is kind of what you're doing, Maddie, with the military base or whatever. But or just any kind of, if you had to send out a group message, if your kids sold Girl Scout cookies, who would you send those to? Who is your Girl Scout cookie rep? Maybe they need them.
I'm thinking
they have a great contact list.
If this is a struggle one for you, also vendor events. Who can you contact for a vendor event? And if you're new to the area, this is going to take some, you know, looking into your area and figuring out what would be a good fit. But everybody's probably at least seen the signs for them or been to a vendor event at some point in their life or heard somebody talking about it. So a lot of times they're based out of schools, based out of churches. I know we got asked to do one for a preschool recently. Any group that has a ladies' night group would be a good one. And then what other categories to getting your name out there in a new area? And so think local businesses too. You know, what kind of local businesses could you go in, especially, you know, the smaller businesses that are more privately owned, and introduce yourself, see if they've heard of Pampered Chef, and see if there's a way that you could partner up with them. So there's something called pampering a business, where you go in and talk to the secretary or, you know, kind of the front person at a business. Sometimes medical offices, places, teachers are a good place. So maybe talk to the school secretary, and then you can ask them if they'd work with you to pass the book around, collect orders, and you'll actually drop off a treat. So it could be something like brownies made in the brownie pan. You don't drop off your actual products typically, you just drop off something made in them and some catalogs. So that's another way, especially if you've moved or you're new to an area, to get your name out there and start reaching out to people that are local to you. So does that help you come up with any names?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so what you want to use this list for is, this isn't something that we just make one time and then close the book and you're done with it. We're going to talk about how to choose the top people. So you both have shows on your calendar, which is awesome, and talk to them about getting shows. But you're going to refer back to this list, and you might even refer back to it for years. Typically, there might be some names on here that you don't contact right away. It's called your chicken list. So they're the people you kind of chicken out and don't contact. You know, don't be shy to admit that they're on there, because that happens to everyone. But I remember going back to my original list, even after being in the business 1 and 2 years. And at that point, I had gained the skills to become comfortable with maybe contacting people I hadn't contacted right off the bat. Okay. So how do you go about turning these names into bookings and business for your show, for your getting your business started? So what should you expect? Some people will be intrigued by the business. Some will want to host. Some will want to just come to a party. Some will want to tell their friends about your business, and some will just say good luck. So you're going to expect all the answers. And this is something that I talk about with every new consultant. Expect to get some no's. And then for some personality types, that can be the most challenging part. So I like to tell you right now, some people are going to tell you no. It's normal. And don't let that shut your business down or, make you back off or not want to ask the next person. So my personal experience with that is I didn't know a lot of people when I started. And I thought for sure we had to come up with 4 to 6 people that would help us at the beginning, just like we're going to do now. And so I thought for sure that my mother-in-law would be one of them, my aunt would be one of them, and my mother-in-law flat out said no. And then my aunt said she would do a book party, but don't ever ask her again. And I never have asked her again in 12 years now. So, and that made me really think, is this the right fit? Can I do this? Those are normal thoughts when you get some of those unexpected no's. But what I also found is I got some unexpected yeses. Some of the people on my original list where I was really unsure of what type of response I would get were unexpectedly yes and a lot more enthusiastic than, the people I was closer to. So it'll be a both. That's why you have to ask everyone. Don't prejudge and think these are my yeses. These are the people I don't think are going to say yes. You just have to ask everyone. And don't take it personally. So there's 2 types of people in the world. Some, when you ask them to have a party, are thinking, oh my gosh, yes, I would love to. I get to clean my house. I get to kick my kids out. My husband can leave. It's a girls' night. It'll be so much fun. And then, and for virtual parties, the same type of concept, just, virtually. I can chat with my friends. I can hang out more on Facebook. I'll get some free stuff out of being on Facebook. How awesome is that? And then some people will, when you ask them, will think, oh my gosh, no, I'd have to clean my house. I'd have to find somewhere for my kids to go. I'd have to vacuum. It would just be too much of a hassle. No, I'm not going to do it. So you can't take a no personally, because sometimes there's stuff going on in their head that you aren't ever aware of. Same thing with the virtual. It might be, oh my gosh, we've had too many virtual parties recently. Or my friends really don't like Facebook, same types of things. The no isn't personal. And when Chris and I talked, we talked about one of the trainings that's been around for a long time is to go for no. So if you feel like a no is going to be really challenging for you, make it a positive and set up your goal that you're going to get 5 no's this week, or you're going to get 10 no's this week. Because the numbers show that for every 10 no's you get, you're going to get 1 yes. So if you haven't gotten enough yes, you just haven't asked enough people, because there is a yes out there. Okay? Any questions? Got it all?
No, but I did want to tell you, I absolutely love the go for no's philosophy, because I get, I don't know why I ever thought that I'd be good at sales, because I am terrible with rejection. So that really helps me out, though, thinking that I just haven't asked enough people and the next person's going to say yes. It's, the law of averages. So yes. Someone's bound to say yes. So
yes. And I'm a numbers person. So you'll find through some of my trainings, I'll throw some of those numbers out there. That's something I've paid a lot of attention to over the years is, how many people do you have to ask to get a yes, or how many people do you add your team to get X, Y, and Z? So, I'll try to throw those out there whenever I have those numbers that I have learned. Okay, so it's time to book, and this is going to be on page 11 of your My Recipe for Success, or you can go through the booking segment of the PC University. So that's where you want to start. If you haven't made it all the way through, Chris, keep working on that. I think Crystal's listening in from work here, so Crystal, keep working on that as well. It's not a booking until they're actually dated on your calendar. So whether that's for a cooking show or a live vendor event, you need a date. If it's for a virtual party, you want a start date and an end date for that. So make sure they're on your calendar, they're committed, you're getting them set up on your website, which is all steps we'll help you through. It's also available on PC University. A good practice for getting the booking to be a date on your calendar is don't say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited you want to have a party. When do you want to have it? That's not your best way to get a show. Your best way is to ask yes or no questions, or either or questions. So a good example for that would be, I had a show last night and a girl wanted to have a party, and she said, well, I don't know my dates. I own my own business. Let me just go home and check my calendar and I'll get back to you. And what I said is, well, she wanted to do February. And I said, let me go ahead and tell you what dates I have available so that you can figure out which one works for you. So first of all, she's going home with specific dates instead of just looking at her open calendar and trying to figure out what works. And then I said, which works best for you, a weeknight or a weekend? And then they'll answer, and it's one or the other. If you cannot offer weeknights and weekends, and this would go both for virtual and for live cooking shows, then you would say, which works best for you? I do Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know, which one works best for you? Or if you can only do weekends, which one works best for you? I do Saturdays and Sundays. Okay. If you're offering weeknights and weekends, then when they answer, then I'll say, okay, my next 2 dates available, my next 2 Saturdays are the 12th and the 19th. Which one works for you? So you're offering choices and you're also asking yes or no questions. Does that make sense?
Yep.
If you give them too many choices, it's very hard to pin them down and get a date. Usually they end up walking away, they need to check out their calendar, and then you play a lot of phone tag or messaging on Facebook to get an actual answer. Okay, perfect. Well, that concludes our first one. So I'm going to message you guys separately and ask for your feedback, especially for those who did this as a one-on-one call and have also jumped in and done the video training. So please give me your honest feedback because we want to grow this to be something that's very successful for the whole team. And then as you guys add new people to your teams, you can direct them here because we'll do this every Wednesday. Next Wednesday is going to be on host coaching, which is a core part of your business. So we'll be doing that. And between now and then, work your way through the PC University with the getting started and the bookings segment. Any other questions?
Okay.
Just a little plug on host coaching. You all are beyond blessed that you have Chantel here to train us on that. Just saying that I don't know if you've noticed how many awards she gets and you know, how high her sales are, a big, big part of that. And it has changed my business since I learned host coaching from her. So bring a pen and a notebook and be ready to jot down some notes for that one.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Angela. And I will talk to you, Maddie, in just a little bit with your mom, and we will go from there. So have a great rest of your day, guys.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.